We force ourselves too much, get too much, until we forget to just being. Hi, I'm Isabel Rolo, and welcome to the show, Let It Shine. Hello, welcome to Let It Shine show. Today is with us Daniel Gutierrez. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
With this name, almost I speak with you in Spanish.
Yeah.
And tell us, who is the Daniel Gutierrez?
Oh gosh, that's a long story. I grew up in a small town called Midlothian, Texas. You could probably hear the Texas in my voice. And so I am a true Tejano.
So you say Heidi?
Howdy, yeah. Howdy, y'all. And
Oh,
y'all.
y'all.
Yeah. I got over that. I've been here 16 years. So, but I grew up in a small town in Midlothian, Texas. And, I always had a dream of doing something big. I didn't know what it was. I knew that I was designed to do something, but I wasn't sure. So I just went along life. And, today, fast forward, I am an author. I'm a speaker. I speak all over the world. I have seminars all over the world. I've done radio. I've done TV. And I am an advisor to the Department of White House Personnel for the Obama administration. So I do that. I'm the past president of an organization in New York City called Primer. And so I stay busy. And I'm a father. Number one, most of all, I'm a father.
Yeah. Why you decided to be an author?
The book, Stepping into Greatness, to me is realizing that we are all born in the image of greatness. We all have within us the ability to take our lives and to bring together and to bring into awareness the power that's within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in all of us. And so I knew that there was something inside me. There was something, and I had a really rough childhood. My young adulthood all the way through my 20s, which I hope never to live again, was just up and down. I was always in trouble. I was just trying to find myself. But when I realized that I was born in the image of greatness and that I really, truly had the power to change my life and be anything I wanted to be, then I really began to see the good in me rather than the bad in me. We're so easy to want to see, we see the bad things, but we don't see the good things because our culture is always putting, bad news and whatever. And so we're always focused on the bad. Even today in this economy, people are focused on my mortgage, the bills, whatever, when in reality, that same energy can be put into seeing the positive, seeing the good, because it's there. And so Stepping into Greatness for me was about, I wrote the book because I wanted to tell my story. I wanted people to know who I was, because I was seeing some level of success, and people were like, "Oh, it must be nice being you. You have these fancy suits." I go, no. It wasn't that easy. So I wrote the book for that, and I also wrote the book because my father died in a car accident when I was 5, and when I had my son, I was afraid maybe something would happen. He would not know because I don't know my dad. So I wrote the book so that he would be able to read who his dad was, and so it's an interesting book. The first part of it's kind of biographical and it talks about my life, and the second half of the book is really about what you can do, what I did. Because I tell people all the time, look, what I did may not work for you, but this is what I did and it works for me, and if you want to do this, is great. If not, then it's okay.
And tell me, you say that you was a bad boy, always in trouble. What changed your life?
What changed my life?
Or you are still a bad boy?
I won't say that on TV.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. No, I know, right? She's like, take a note. We'll come back to that in just a moment. I know how this works. So, no. You know what? I had a really bad experience when I was a young man, and it woke me up to the fact that either I straightened out my life or I had a decision. I had a decision to make between life and death. And if I was going to continue the path that I was on, I would not live. And so I chose to not do that. I chose a different path, and thank God I did. And I think part of that, let me say this, because this is interesting, in the contrast to being the bad boy, as you say, is...
No, you say before.
is that at the age of 17, I was a licensed Baptist minister. And so I started out as a Baptist minister, studying Hebrew and Greek, studying the Bible, I was just, that was my mission. That's what I was going to do. And then made a direct right, said, and that's not what I want to do. But that's where it started. That's where I had a strong value system. And this is what's important, is that I think that the reason I was able to notice that I was not in the right place was that I had a value system, that I knew right from wrong. I don't know that our kids today know right from wrong.
So I need to read you.
You need to read it. That's right. No, you do like everybody else and come and go, really?
Yeah.
Did you have to write all that? I said, yeah, it was me, right? Because I look at where I'm at today, and my life is so magical. My life is so wonderful. And I travel the world. And I mean, I remember growing up in that little town. I mean, there was all people did was drive pickup trucks, haul hay, and chew tobacco. You know, I wanted more in life. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to see Michelangelo and to sit, you know, up front. I wanted to see the David up front. I want to see it for myself. I don't want to read about it. And I set out to do that, and I did all those things.
And everything is in your book.
It's in the book.
I need to read the book.
Yeah, there's a lot of contrast in there, because I think that someone said, why were you so honest about the nasty things in your life? And I said, well, because I think that it gives people permission to be okay with their past. There is nothing we can do about the past. We can accept it, we can forgive ourselves for it, and we can move on. And the truth is that we as individuals and as human beings crucify ourselves with the regrets of yesterday and the fears of tomorrow. When in essence, at the very moment that we're living, right here, right now, that is the moment that you have the power to change your entire life. And most of us are scared on whether we're going to have the rent for next month. And the truth is, you may not live to next month. So why worry about something that has not yet transpired, and stay in the present moment where all the power is in that moment to create the magic. And so yeah, I wrote those things. I want to say to people, look, all of us have a stupid story. We all have a story, and it's not the story that matters. It's what you do with the story, unless you want to be trapped in that hell. It's up to you. It's a choice. Suffering is optional.
You learn all these things, so it's coming to you when you was dreaming.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I was 13 when I first read a self-help book. My first self-help book, I was 13, Og Mandino. I loved Og Mandino. I love his books, the greatest salesman in the world. And I remember being 13, and I said, I'm going to create a different line of Gutierrez's that are intelligent, that are smart, that don't have to work hard, that they're going to work with their mind, that are going to be educated, they're going to be leaders, and I'm doing that. I'm doing that with my son, and I'm very proud to say that wish or that idea that I had when I was 13 is something that I'm bringing to fruition today.
That's wonderful. And tell me, because what's coming to my mind right now, what is the diálogos del corazón?
Is the heart is the basis of all energy, and is the basis of our human condition. What most people don't know about the heart is that the heart radiates energy 12 feet from the body. It actually transmits more information to the body than the mind does. And the heart is the reason why we suffer. Because we, in our minds, have an intellect and an ego. And the intellect and the ego argue and want to keep you safe. And then we don't listen to the heart, because we're fear that we may be taken advantage of, or we may be too soft, but the heart is, to me, my teachings today is all about going from the head to the heart, to understand that true change, true understanding, true compassion comes from a connection to the heart. And this is really what we're talking about in today's culture, that the pendulum is swinging from a masculine energy to a feminine energy, and that's so because women are a lot easier to connect with their hearts than men are. And so we have ran our globe for many, many centuries from a very dogmatic, intellectual, cognitive way of thinking, and it's not worked. It's not worked. We've had war, we had more war, we had famine, we have death, we have too much going on. And so the heart is so important. And I'm glad you brought that up, because my work today is about the heart. It's about, can we get back to the heart? Can we understand that everything that emanates from us is coming from our heart? If we can connect with that, be it male or female, magic happens. And what is connected to the heart is where people get scared. Love. the essence of all beauty, the essence of God, the essence of everything that will be and has been is all about love. And people freak out about that, right?
How you know the difference? When it's your heart and when it's your mind?
The mind, okay, the mind, the ego uses the mind and the heart uses the mind. Okay? So the ego is there specifically, okay, so the ego would say to you, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's